Mimics aren't always treasure and gold, or at least they shouldn't be. Hello everyone, and welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. Now, you might have been expecting Shadowrun, but if you missed the community post, I've decided to cease covering Shadowrun for now, mostly just because as much as I've been learning and as much fun as I've been having delving into it, it just has taken up a lot of time for me just because, well, I'm not as familiar with it, so it involves more studying, and between lining up new work and then keeping up with the channel and then kids and my wife and other family and friend obligations, it's just a bit much. So today, instead, I'm going to do a quick tips episode while I figure out what exactly I'm going to do as far as schedule here on YouTube goes. And for today's quick tips, we're going to talk about using mimics, those terrifying monsters that typically masquerade as piles of treasure, chests full of glittering gold and gemstones, and all the loot that players could ever want, something to entice them and draw them in close so that they can successfully ensnare their prey. But they've been used this way so much that it's kind of gotten a little bit predictable, and some players are inherently suspicious of unguarded treasure, or even mildly guarded treasure. Hell, even if it's the most secure, devilishly defended, and most hard-bitten vault ever, they might still be suspicious of those mimics. But there's a couple of ways you can mess with their suspicions and play upon their expectations. The webcomic Critical Role, Weekly Role. Sorry, Critical Role is the show. Sorry, my bad. But Weekly Role featured a doorway mimic, and so did the Acquisitions Incorporated C team here on YouTube. They also had a door mimic, but there are other places and ways that you can use your mimics. My personal favorite is the chandelier mimic. A mimic hanging up with the chandeliers, holding all the torches, taking the place of the sconces and the like. And it's useful because once the mimic drops the torches, some of them go out, the mimic drops down from the ceiling, presumably on top of at least one or two players, getting a nice ambush and attacking from above, starting off with a pretty solid pin going on there. And with their adhesive properties, that spells some pretty major problems for the players overall. Definitely a great way for you to get the drop on the party. But there's another place where you can use mimics, and I personally like having them take the place of floor mats, or at least disguising themselves as floor mats in a cutout in the floor, so that way once the players step over them and get into place, they just crack open those jaws and in the player drops. Now, that can be fiendish, that can deal a lot of damage up front, but you can make it kind of a way where the players can make a strength check to try to get free, and the different adhesive properties might pose some difficulty and definitely some initial challenge for the players, because now they've got to figure out how to get through the floor to start attacking the rest of the mimic's body. But still, it'll be something that surprises your players significantly. But if you're not looking to have mimics in a purely offensive role, you can certainly have them in more domesticated aspects. I mean, come on, human beings, we as a species, we domesticated all kinds of wildlife, and mimics are relatively intelligent creatures. Certainly you can easily see somebody striking up a deal with them and working with mimics closely. One idea I had that I shared on a Facebook page was mimics taking the place of different furnishings and decorations at an inn, daily ingesting potions that help negate their adhesive properties, and they're fed regularly as well, so that way they don't have the need to attack any of the guests, and they can have this mutually beneficial relationship with the owners of the inn. And they're able to put on all these decorations and events and have a very, very malleable presence at the inn. And then you can also take it a step further and have mimics act as spies, maybe in conjunction with other creatures like different kinds of shapeshifters and the like, doppelgangers, for example. So mimics can be used in a wide variety of ways, not just ambush predators for treasure, and certainly you don't have to limit yourselves just at treasure. I mean, hell, this bookshelf back here behind me could be a mimic. Well, hopefully not. Probably not, right? But what do you think? Go on down to the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Did you like today's video? Did you dislike it? Let me know either way. Leave your thoughts and comments down below. Hit those like or dislike buttons. And remember, if you're new here to the channel, go on down there and hit the subscribe button and become a regular member. But with all that said, I've been your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. Thank you all so very much for your time, and you all have yourselves a good night.